Thank you for being here. Overnight, police charged a 16-year-old boy with a terrorism offence as a result of the alleged stabbing at a Sydney church on Monday evening. Police from the Joint Counter-Terrorism team attended a medical facility last night to interview the boy, and he was subsequently charged with a Commonwealth offence for terrorism. He has been bail refused, and we expect that he will be attending a bedside court hearing today to determine bail. The incident relates to the stabbing of the bishop, we allege, on Monday night, that was stabbed up to 6 times. We also allege that the boy had travelled for 90 minutes to attend that location from his home address. He is a 16-year-old. He will appear at a children's court, and it will be a matter before the court, and we will not be able to provide many other details because it is a matter before the court. Separately, I'd like to reassure the community that police will be out in force for high visibility operations today and onwards for as long as needed to reassure the community we are there to keep them safe. We have extra officers deployed. We've deployed extra officers since Monday night, particularly in southwest Sydney, but across Sydney to patrol places of worship and other important installations. The community should have no current concerns for their safety. I also want to stress that there is misinformation being communicated across social media, and people should not share any of that information. The source of information should be from police and law enforcement authorities, and if people have concerns, they should check our websites, our socials, and any other direct news from law enforcement about current information. If we have current credible information about any risk or threat to the community, we will let them know. We will share that with the community. So please be assured that police will be the source of truth and not social media and misinformation. I'll now hand over to the Commissioner from the AFP. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Last night, the New South Wales Joint Counter-Terrorism team, which includes the AFP, New South Wales Police, ASIO and the New South Wales Crime Commission, charged a 16-year-old boy with a Commonwealth terrorist offence. This investigation is complex and remains ongoing, but I will outline the facts as they stand. On the evening of Monday, April 15, we allege a 16-year-old boy attended the Christ the Good Shepherd's Church in Wakeley, where he allegedly stabbed the bishop of the church. The next day, on Tuesday, April 16, investigators from the Joint Counter-Terrorism team completed search warrants at the alleged offender's home, where a number of items were seized. After examination of the alleged offender's electronic devices, and when other evidence was obtained, investigators sought to speak with the alleged offender following appropriate medical clearance. Yesterday, investigators attended a medical facility to interview the alleged offender, where he was charged with committing a terrorist act under section 101.1 of the Criminal Code Commonwealth 1995, an offence which carries a maximum penalty of imprisonment for life. He has been refused bail and is expected to appear before a bedside court hearing today. This matter will go through the justice system while we continue our investigations, but I do want to make a couple of points. A terrorist act is defined under Commonwealth law. We allege that the act committed meets the definition for reasons outlined in a statement of facts, but I will not go into those facts here today. Secondly, I want to reinforce that our job is not done. Myself and other police members, including our well-established community liaison teams, are meeting with leaders of faith over the coming days to provide support, answer questions and provide assurances the community needs. We target criminality, not countries, We investigate radicalisation and not religion. The police, there is a saying in police, the police are the community and the community are the police. We're only as strong and effective as our bond to each other. We know that grief hangs heavy over Sydney at the moment, and there are many communities with questions, but our answers will have more meaning if we find commonality and not difference. I want to thank all of those involved in the investigation to date and those who have assisted with the investigation. We are working with pace and laser-like precision. Finally, the terrorist threat in Australia has not changed following this incident. Our national terrorism threat level remains at possible, and all Australians should remain vigilant, and I urge people who see or hear something that they feel is not right to contact the National Security Hotline immediately on 1800 123 400. Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Does this change anything that he's a teenager? Can you talk us through the fact that for his age?
As I said, he's a 16-year-old. He will go before the Parramatta Children's Court today, we expect, via a bedside sitting. Because it's a matter before the Children's Court, it is likely that the facts of the matter won't be made public, and this will be a matter before the court, and it will have to take its fullness of time.
Well, does it complicate bringing allegations against him and charging because he's a teenager under a terrorist act? Just to follow up, is there a complication there?
There's not a complication. It's a charge under the Commonwealth Act for commit an act of terrorism, and investigators are satisfied that the evidence available has substantiated the charge, and that will be subject to, obviously, the court.
And what's possible prison sentence that you face?
Imprisonment up to life.
Initially, you were talking about social media and misinformation. Can you give us an example that you have seen where there may have been threats made at another location or possibility? Can you talk us through what you've seen?
I won't go into the specifics because that will be sharing something that's incorrect, but I do know that there's been information on applications like WhatsApp, TikTok, other things that are suggesting certain things and they're not true. And it's creating fear, unnecessary fear in the community, and it needs to stop.
Where would the boy be held once he's discharged?
He'll be, I expect, remanded in a youth detention location, subject to the court.
So no maximum security terrorism
Be a children's court detention arrangement.
So there's going to be a high profile workplace out there, high profile mainstay. Are you concerned about potential reprisals against mosques?
Of course, we're always concerned how a community will react to something as serious as this, but I need to reassure the community that they have no reason to be concerned, and police will be present, are present, and if they have any concerns, call the police.
Have you received any specific information to that effect?
I haven't, no. And there is no reason to create fear. There are no concerns, but I want to say that police, New South Wales Police, have increased their patrols and presence to reassure the community that we are there if we are called and needed. I also want to take this opportunity to just say thank you to all the New South Wales Police and those who have assisted in the joint counter-terrorism arrangements in this investigation. It's been a tough time for New South Wales Police, and all staff have worked tirelessly on these matters and the Bondi matter, and I just think it's appropriate that we think about the work that's been done to keep New South Wales safe.
Through the course of the investigations this week.
I'll come back to you.
Can you touch on the alleged motives of this?
No, as I said, it's a matter before the court now. Suffice to say that we are satisfied that the elements of proofs for commit a terrorist offence under the Act have been met.
Was he radicalised online?
I can't say.
Touching on that, what will the allegation be in terms of how long this plan had been formulated for?
Again, I know everyone's interested, curious, and everyone wants answers, but we're talking about someone that is now charged and will be before the court, and it will be inappropriate to talk about those details.
Commissioner, just a bit more broadly, I mean, what is doing to monitor high-risk behaviour and violent extremism on school grounds, even if it was a teenager?
Police have, particularly in New South Wales, we've got youth engagement officers. We work very closely with the Department of Education. We have officers that go into schools across New South Wales and Sydney particularly all the time. We're in school holidays at the moment. Our youth command officers are already engaging across New South Wales and the Sydney community, and when school resumes, we will continue to do that.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is London Council of New South Wales Police to say, saying that they find it bewildering that they're comparing between Bondi Junction Stag, which was not declared as terrorism institute, and in ours the one in Western Sydney was, and they were saying, but there's signs of behavioural mental health issues in both, and they say that this just shows that terrorism is only labelled for the Muslim faith. What's your response to that?
No, within the Terrorism Act, and I understand the concern and the difference, the Terrorism Act defines it has to be political, religious, or ideologically motivated, violent extremism, and it's to further a cause. So whether that's a ISIL cause or an ISIS cause, that's part of the elements of the offence. And as Commissioner Webb spoke about, the elements of the Commonwealth charge have been met in our view, and that's what we'll be alleging.
You said the threat level remains impossible. Are you worried that there may be a copycat follow-up, or people may be influenced to commit something?
I think we're always concerned when we have a major incidents like this occur, and the great thing is we work with each other, all the law enforcement agencies in this country, and with ASIO. It is a matter for the Director General of ASIO whether or not that level is lowered or heightened.
Commissioner Kershaw, I know you can't speak about specifics, but you talked about just the evidence that you've been able to gather for this investigation. Can you say how much there is, and in terms of the electronic evidence as well, what are we looking at there?
Yeah, it's a lot these days, as you'd probably be aware of. People have thousands and thousands of videos and images that they store, and also what we find on social media. So our teams with the Joint Counter-Terrorism team will be going through all of that material forensically, digital forensically, and to establish what the other avenues of inquiry are, but also the evidence that goes towards the charge.
And obviously that would span years if you're looking at electronic data as well.
It can go on for a while, so that you have to be thorough, because when you're going through the judicial process and in any criminal investigation, no doubt it often will be defended, so you've got to make sure you've looked at everything, and our teams are very good at being able to do that in a expeditious manner.
How cooperative was this offender when your investigators were finally
I don't want to go into that because young person, and there are certain rules around children and our interactions, law enforcement's interaction with children, so all I can say is that he's been charged.
And are there others in connection to this 16-year-old that you are now looking to?
Those are sort of matters that we do as a standard practice on, of course, any investigation, and that's something the Joint Counter-Terrorism team will be looking at.
Commissioner, Commissioner Webb.
Sorry.
Two commissioners.
Yeah. Yesterday you said that you were content with the tools of powers that police had in relation to knife crime, but also police made a submission to the custodial sensitive council review, looking for harsh penalties for parents for children who are found with knife crime. So do you not think the current knife laws are sufficient?
Certainly, as I've said, possessing a knife in public in New South Wales is an offence, and we've seen too many knives. We've seized too many knives. If government strengthens those laws, then we'll welcome that. But equally, we have laws that are very effective.
Do you find that you're having repeat offenders and parents aren't doing enough with children who are repeat?
Certainly, when police deal with young offenders, then they go into that young offenders system and a process. So I won't talk about repeat offenders in that nature, but we do run knife operations every day. Police are seizing knives from individuals. Last week we ran Operation Foil, which seized 51 knives just in one operation across a few days. So that's 51 too many knives on our streets, people carrying a knife in public that have no entitlement to carry a knife. So we've got to find a way for people to understand it's illegal to carry a knife in public.
What sort of role do parents play in knife crime?
Well, certainly, everyone has a role, and parents have a role if they can influence their children, of course. Because if we're talking about the matter now before the court, we're talking about a 16-year-old with a knife.
Sorry, just back to the social media. There's been some problems with people posting images and videos exact. What's your comment about social media companies not working hard enough to remove that content or policing it?
I think much has been said, and I agree with the comments made. I think leading a social media platform should bring with it big social corporate responsibility, and I think to have images like that online, they need to be removed immediately and not left up there. So I think they do have a role to play.
Mr. Kershaw, could I get your answer on that?
Yeah, the E-Safety Commissioner has those powers to be able to take down those abhorrent videos. It's unfortunately the internet, whilst it's a great place for learning and understanding, it's also got a lot of garbage in it, and unfortunately we're seeing more and more of that. So there are mechanisms in Australia, but as Commissioner Webb has stated, we're really encouraging the big companies to do the right thing. They know that is going through their systems and their servers, and they need to do the right thing and take that material off the internet.
Commissioner, can I just give you one last one on the Bondi attacker? Do we know anything more subsequently?
Not yet. As you can imagine, it's a huge investigation. We're talking about 6 people that have been murdered and 12 people that have been injured. A large crime scene. We're talking about multiple witnesses, lots of video evidence from inside the shopping centre, and we have sent investigators to Queensland to speak with his family and friends. So there will be a lot of work yet to be done to really have a better picture of what might have been on his mind, yet we may not really ever know. Thank you. Thank you.